Hello and welcome everyone to podcast 6. Today we're talking about taking off that face mask, and I know that many of you are straight away going to be going to the face mask that we wear in the shops and the restaurants, the mandatory face mask that we're using to protect ourselves against stuff like COVID has been going around and affecting a lot of our lives for the last quite a few months. I think it's about 18 months, something like that we've been just over something like that we've been struggling with COVID and trying to control it. And face masks were one of the main things that was put in place to protect us and protect others, especially those that we love, from catching COVID if we've got it, for example. But we're not talking about necessarily actual face mask that we put on our face to protect others from COVID. Face mask that I'm talking about taking off is that fake smile, that fake feelings, a fake happiness that you put on to try and make people around you feel happier, to try and hide the fact that you're struggling just so you can put others first and make them feel better about yourself, even though deep inside you're hurting and you feel like someone's stabbing you. But you're hiding it, you're saying that you're okay, you're smiling, and you're pretending that nothing is happening outside of your small part of the world. And deep inside, it's your heart that needs to be happy. You need to be happy deep inside to be able to do a lot of stuff, to be able to achieve the dreams that we have briefly talked about. And if I remember correctly, I'm just looking over the list now, we do have some stuff coming up on dreams at some point in time. I believe 24th of October. 24th of October. So that is in 3 weeks' time. So the second podcast after this podcast, we are actually talking about goals, hopes, and dreams in that podcast. And I may split it up in 3 different bits, or I may keep it the same depending on what the planning is with that. But anyway, talking about going back to this face mask, you have to be honest, truthful, and vulnerable with the people around you, because after all, they care the most about you. But if they don't know you're struggling, they are unable to help you. And it's okay, everyone does it. I'm really good at putting on a fake smile and pretending that everything's fine, even when behind the doors it is not fine. And I am really hurting, but I put on that fake smile as almost like safety, almost like we're protecting ourselves from other people knowing that we're struggling. And it's a human thing to do, I think. No one likes to admit, especially at the moment with the stigmas that are around mental health and around the fact that, oh, well, if you're struggling, you just need to grow up. Or especially for men, we have the highest rates of suicide because we just get told man at whenever we're struggling and stuff. I know that is one thing that a couple, especially local mental health charities in Pembrokeshire, such as the DPJ Foundation and Get the Boys a Lift, they're trying to end that stigma, they're trying to get it out and push that forward. But for them to be able to do that and help you, you need to be able to take off that face mask and say, yes, I am struggling. Tell your close friend, even if it's just one person, admit to someone that is struggling. Take off your mask to them and show them what's actually behind the mask. Because if you haven't, I don't know how much you have actually been out, because I don't know what your life is compared to mine. And obviously, I don't probably know who's going to be watching this. It could be anyone that watches this. But I know sometimes when I've met up with friends and stuff, especially if we've been using public transport to meet up, like trains or something like that, and I won't recognise them in a face mask. Or even if we've been in the shop, I know a few weeks ago I was in Carmarthen with a friend, and obviously I had the face mask and stuff on because it's still a mandatory thing to go into shops with a face mask on unless you're exempt. And I was trying to find them, and I knew their face and stuff like that, but with a face mask on, it hides that whole bottom half of the face, especially if it got like longish hair that isn't as noticeable as my curly. I don't really know what you want to call my hair, it's more of a nest, but especially you can't really see much of the face, and it does help to not like it, you can't identify people as much with it. So all I'm trying to say is take off that face mask so people can identify the fact that you're struggling and that you do have a fake smile on. And it's okay if you have a fake smile, that's totally okay. But just know that if you take off that face mask, that's the first step to getting help. Talking to someone that you're struggling, talking to someone, say, hey, look, I'm not actually as happy as I seem, or hey, look, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. Even if you just start off with small things, like little things that have just gone wrong in the day, and just say, hey, look, can I just rant to you about this little thing that went wrong where my chocolate bar melted, for example. Even if it's just something small like that that annoyed you, that just gets you to start talking. That's all I want. especially for those of you that are in work, especially full time. It's quite a demanding jobs a lot of the time, but it's important to get that help. And even if you don't necessarily get that help from work, get that help outside of work. There is help out there. There's counselling services. There's places like Get the Boys a Lift that have counselling services, and they're drop-in coffee shop that they have, which is really good coffee. But there is help out there. And if you're in schools, you get the youth workers and you get the school counsellors as well. I know that they are still currently in schools and stuff, and I do credit them for their work. I know sometimes they aren't always the most useful for everyone, but they will help someone. And obviously you have your families as well, for those of you that feel like you can tell your families, but if not, just tell your close friends. And also next week, I'm only doing short ones tonight because my voice is starting to go, and I have 3 more days of long shifts the next few days before I'm coming back to Pembrokeshire on Friday. But next Sunday I don't know what time roundabout it's going to be uploaded. It may end up being on the Monday like today has been, just depending on what time it gets recorded. But next Sunday we have got a guest on the show with me, so my friend Alicia is going to be on the show with me, and we are going to be doing a part 2 to the podcast I did the other week. I believe it was podcast 4, if I remember correctly, but that podcast anyway, on treating yourself like someone you love. So we're going to be doing a part 2 on that, because she's got some excellent ideas that she wants to feed in. She hasn't quite told me what these are yet, but we're quite excited for it, because she's the one that inspired me to do it, the friend I was talking about. So that'll be on next week. And the week after it will be Goals, Hopes and Dreams, unless we end up having Patch, the local food bank in Pembrokeshire, have agreed to do a couple podcasts with us. So they may be doing 3 or 4 different podcasts if I can set it up correctly. So I may change that around a bit, but there will definitely be a video coming from Goals, Hopes and Dreams by the 24th, just as an extra thing. And then there'll be 3 or 4 things with Patch to do with the toy appeal, which there'll be a link on the Facebook page for it, and I'll start trying to post a proper video on it as well once I'm there to meet up with them. And we've got a couple other people as well that will be coming on the podcast channel. We've got the author coming on at some point, and hopefully people like Get the Boys a Lift, although they haven't quite come on yet due to staff shortages. I know at the moment they're still quite short on staff, so it may be a couple of weeks until they come on, but we'll be having more guests on, as you'll be happy to know. And hopefully between now and Christmas I'll be more and more working, get more guests on. For Remembrance Day, we'll be doing a very special video for Remembrance Day. I'm thinking of getting maybe some veterans or even the VC Gallery, see if they want to join in with something, and we can try and do a proper good emotive Memorial Day, and Memorial Sunday, because we're going to do one on Thursday and one on Sunday that week, just to help remember those that we lost, and those who went to war to save us and give us a free country. So we look forward to doing that. I know it's only a quick one tonight, guys. I'm ever so sorry about that, but I am tired. I'm ready to run late, and I have just had emails to say that I'm going into schools very soon after I get back, so I need to try and catch up and get some of that stuff organised, but hopefully it's all going to go good. And obviously next week we've got guests on, so please watch out for that. It'll be nice. In fact, it'll be lovely to have some guests back on the show, so we can have that honest conversation between 2 people again, which I know a lot of you have missed, and I'm ever so sorry about that. But life does happen, and obviously I've been up in Norfolk and other stuff has happened as well. But we have guests on next week, and hopefully a few weeks between now and Christmas, quite a few of them. I'm going to try and chock-a-block with guests, just so then you have more guests than me talking, because I'm sure you're all starting to get fed up of just me talking. But anyway, I hope this helps at all. Just remember that there is help there for those of you that have that like mind mask on, that mind face mask that stops you from being able to get out and talk to people and tell them like you're struggling. And I just hope that you find that help, and just know that God is with you. Thank you.